Hello guys, come on in. I know it is a couple minutes late. There's a bunch of craziness going on towards the end of the evening here. I had uh, I had physical therapy, and then I had to go pick up the kids after physical therapy and try to make it back here in time to get set up and coincide with One Crafting Mama getting back. So it was a whole bunch of stuff that had to link up and stuff like that. But the point is, we're here. It's only starting about 2 minutes late. Give me just a second. I actually need to go grab a charger. So I will be right back. If you haven't seen, today's topic is Power Hour. So for the meantime, while she's I'm trying to figure out my lighting here. Yeah, we'll leave that alone. Let me see here. Alright. Can you guys see me okay? I said the lighting's kind of funky right now. I don't know what's going on with it. Just come on in. Like I said, One Crafting Mama, she's on the mend, but she needs a bit of a break until she can go get checked out by the doctor. So we're switching it up, and I'll be doing the rest of the Power Hours this week, and then we'll see how everything goes next week. But you guys come on in. We're still going to do Power Hour tonight, and I'll go a little bit later since we did start a little late. But let me go grab a charger, gives people more time to come in, and then we'll talk about how to have realistic expectations and how to set goals for yourself and for your business. So give me a few seconds here. All right, wrap this around here. There we go. Now I got some juice going. Let me close this on up. Got my Surface Pro. All right, I'm back. We are charged up. Got people coming in. Come on in. Come on in. All right. And per usual, with One Crafting Mama, if you self-promotion is welcome. So if you got your own business you want to promote in the comments, please go right ahead. Just scroll through the comments, make sure scroll through the comments, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Come on in, come on in. Looks like I hadn't missed anybody yet. Move the camera down. Oh. I want to open Bixby. I was trying to adjust this. All right.
That's move the camera down.
All right. There we go. All right. Give everybody about 1 more minute. I'd like to give 5-minute buffers for coming into streams, because I don't know, it's been weird. TikTok's notifications have been pretty weird. I know I haven't been getting notifications that she's been going live. Matter of fact, let me see here. Yeah, for some reason I still haven't got it. So we'll just give everybody a few minutes. Well, 1 more minute or so. I like to do like a 5-minute delay so we get folks in here. Yeah, you're not the only one, Firefly. I told my wife that yesterday too, that whenever the last power hour she did in the morning, I didn't even get the notification. I mean, usually I'm at work and I can't see it, but I still usually at least get the notification. So we'll see. So we'll get started with all power hours. It will be on YouTube. So if we do have some latecomers, everybody will still get the opportunity to get the same access to knowledge. All right. So what we're talking about today is realistic expectations. We're going to talk about how to set goals. Won't go into details. Yeah, probably will have to share it. Oh, I see a couple people, GC Custom, share the live. Yeah, you guys, if you don't mind, just share this live video, and maybe that way we can see if we can get people going. TikTok says it's notifying folks, but I have a lot of people who've been saying that they haven't. So, but we're talking about setting goals. It's definitely important to set goals, but also set realistic goals. Realistic goals will help with you to keep pushing. Realistic goals will help see that what you're doing is working. Because if you set unrealistic goals, that's what happens when you get burnout. So like, let's say, for example, you're just starting a TikTok and you want to say, oh, in 2 months, I want to have 100,000 followers. Okay. Unless you're already famous and now that you're creating a TikTok finally, you're probably not going to get 100,000 followers in 2 months. That's just not going to happen. All you're setting yourself up is to be disappointed and maybe be discouraged to not even do anything simply because you didn't hit that goal. Okay. So we'll talk about it in business because the same thing happens in business. Oh, I want to make, $2,000, $3,000 a month. And if that's not a realistic expectation to set for you, you will be down about it if you don't make it, if you don't reach that goal. So we'll talk about setting goals, not only for your business, but also personally for yourself as well, too. Is definitely good. Usually if you can line them up that way, you'll be good to go. All right. So I do have a few notes here. I'm on my Surface. You guys can't see, but I am on my Surface here. I will check to make sure that I am not missing out on any comments, any questions. Hopefully the Q&A is working the way it's supposed to today here. Yeah, so try to put your questions in the Q&A section. If for some reason it's not working again, the comments is fine too. We'll try to get it taken care of. All right. So I got notes on my phone too, so just give me just a second here. Yep, come on in. Come on in, come on in. Oh, Alexa, play lo-fi music.
Here's a station you might like. Lo-fi hip-hop radio on Amazon Music.
All right. So the first thing in setting a goal is first you need to prioritize. Figure out the first thing it is that you want to accomplish. For you crafting sisters and brothers, this may be, I want to make 3 tumblers this week. Or you can say, I want to do an epoxy cup, or I want to do glitter epoxy. I would recommend starting off with something for the week. I know some may start for the day, just something that's attainable. Even if you want to have a stretch goal, so let's say, I want to do 1 epoxy cup this week. But maybe if it's a stretch goal, you want to say, I want to do 3. Always make sure it's important that you set that realistic goal first. So that way you do that 1 and you can be happy about it during that week. Every little bit of progress helps. It's the same deal. Anybody who's physical therapy or recovering from surgery, it's step by step. Once you do that 1 little thing, it's exciting to get back to it. So just keep that in mind. And that could be for whatever. It doesn't even have to be for crafting. Maybe you say, okay, I want more craft time, but I got, a full-time job and working 40 hours a week, or, you have the kids, maybe 24/7, whatever it may be. Just set something out for that day that's just like, man, I would feel really good if I could at least do this. I know for me, I'm trying to, and I say trying, I'm trying to start getting up at least half an hour earlier than what I am now, just to give myself a little bit of me time before I have to start getting ready for work and be locked in for the day. But think about that. I know everybody wants to say, oh, the big picture. Let's not start off with the big picture. Let's start off small and work our way up there. For any type of financials or anything specific, I probably will cover. I might touch tonight, but I probably will cover next week when we're talking about budgeting, whether it's me or my wife who will be here. We will be working together on the notes for those, because the budget is definitely important. If one, you're wanting to make your craft or your hobby into a moneymaker, budgeting is important. Now, too, if it's a hobby for you, but same deal. If you want to kind of keep the costs under control, or you just want to be able to buy whatever you want to whenever you want to, we'll talk about that as well too. All right, so the next best thing when we're talking about goal setting is have a support team. One that you can depend on, I would say. We may call these accountability partners. Like I said, support team, support system, a village, whatever it may be. Just have somebody there who you can willingly share your goals with, or a group, and they'll be like, hey, you set this goal for the week. Did you do it yet? Or it's like, no, I'm just not into it right now. Or they can push you like, you got it. You can keep going. And sometimes, you'll do a craft, or in the middle of the craft, you're like, you know what? I'm just not feeling this. I'm just going to scrap it. And sometimes it may be good to scrap it, but you have to figure out, you have to be honest with yourself and figure out, are you scrapping? Are you not achieving your goals because you're just giving up because it might be a little bit more difficult, or you're having some issues with some motivations, or B, if it's just legitimately a struggle and it's a skill you're going to have to practice, and it's just something that you want to come back to at a different time. I will say trying to learn how to do something new while you're not in the best mood is certainly a recipe for a disaster. I'm not saying that you're always going to be in a great mood every time, but if maybe you have had a stressful day, or had a stressful situation or something like that going on, sometimes you may just need to, okay, let me just go back with what I know, or something that's relaxing for me, instead of trying to get into learning a new skill or a new task. Hey guys, hey, come on in. Said I'm covering Power Hour for One Crafting Mama. We are doing it in the evening because I work in the morning, so it's from 7:30 to 8:30. Got started a little late tonight, so I will run maybe about 5 or 10 minutes late to kind of give everybody a chance. It will be a part of the Power Hour series, so it is going to be uploaded to YouTube. Everybody else who's coming in, yeah, guys, if you don't mind, share the live video. TikTok's been having issues lately with pushing out notifications to let people know that folks are going live. So if you don't mind, please share this live video. Let's get some more people in here. All right, so the next thing is something that I was actually taught in training when I became a manager. It's called SMART goals. And SMART is an acronym. I understand why your wife brags on you. You seem super supportive. I am, and it's vice versa. I'm not like out there with my stuff like on live or social media, but my wife definitely supports what I do, because it's hard sometimes when as you have a hobby that doesn't make money per se, and it's hard to justify you try to enjoy it. But I definitely appreciate that. And being a full-on nerd, it can be expensive. But the fact that she just lets me be that way, it's definitely a breath of fresh air. I don't have to try to find other avenues. But I'm getting off on a tangent. Yeah, I'm going off board, Sandy. But it's all about SMART goals. So if you are doing any type of taking notes, iPad, writing, whatever it may be, SMART's an acronym. So the S stands for specific. So that's what we're talking about. What exactly are you going to do? So for me, for example, I say I want to start getting up half an hour earlier than I usually do right now, which for me, that means I need to start getting up at 5:30 a.m. Well, what specifically am I going to do to start achieving that goal? I can go to bed earlier so I can get more sleep. I can set an alarm for 5:30 to make sure that I get up at that time. But this is just an example. Find something specific. Find something specific that you can do towards this goal. The M is measurable. It's how will you know if you are succeeding. This was very important for sales. You have metrics. I can tell if I'm succeeding, if I'm making profit, or if I'm making sales. For your personal life, it's a little bit different. I would say that measurable, one of those things you just have to be honest with yourself. Obviously for me, I have a weekly guide that I keep that I would check off. Did you wake up at 5:30? And I can check mark, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. And that way at the end of the week, when I look over and see, did I attain my goal of staying up? I can very clearly see, yeah, I did, or no, I can't. There's no gray area, no cloud. I can't be like, I think I did, or, I woke up at 5:35. That counts, doesn't it? The A. So we've got specific. That word is going to trip me up all night, y'all. So we got S, specific. M is measurable. The A in SMART is achievable. And that is how will you implement the goal? So that was just one of those things that we were talking about. Okay, so for example, let's say you want to make more sales. That means you might need to create a sales promotion. And I'm just using examples from being a store manager. So I want to say, okay, I want to have an increase in tempered glass. Let's switch it over to crafting. Say, okay, I have an increase. I want to sell more. I want to sell more sublimation tumblers. Okay. So achievable would mean how will you go about being able to sell more tumblers, sublimation tumblers. So perhaps if you have a website, maybe you can say, hey, 15% off on all tumblers, or something along the lines of, buy one, get an additional credit towards this, or something along the lines of there that will allow you to, once again, realistically achieve that goal. So R is relevant. So we've got SMART. So it's specific, measurable, achievable, and now it's relevant. Does the goal connect to your overall objectives? For example, I talked about earlier. You may say it's really vague. I mean, of course, you'll be more specific than this, but let's say you want to make more money. Okay. Well, how is having a sale on these sublimation tumblers or selling more sublimation tumblers help you overall with wanting to achieve that goal of making more money? Well, obviously, if you're selling the tumblers, that counts as sales. So that's what's going towards that. Okay. For personal, it's the same deal. Perhaps, for example, I said I wanted to have at least, half an hour of me time. That could be time for me to meditate or pray, or just have time where I can listen to music, or maybe watch a video, or just have a half hour to myself where everybody else is sleeping, just to work on a craft. What is it going to help with your overall? Are you doing this because you want to be more healthy? Are you doing this for to be more productive? So those are the type of things you want to think about as far as for what is your overall objective for wanting to achieve a goal. And then the last part of a SMART goal, that T, is timely. Put a timetable on things. If I say, I just want to make more money this year, we're talking 12 months. That's a lot of time to get off track for anything. Anytime, you're not put on a time, not everyone, but a lot of people say, I work better on a deadline. I like to work better on a deadline because I know I have an end date in mind, which means, okay, I need to get this task done. And it's an easy measuring stick for me to decide, okay, this is when I need to get it done. This is where I can start it. Now I can kind of space out the time in between. This is the same goal that you can do with your crafting business, or if it's a hobby. Like I said, not everything necessarily has to be business, but I do like to cover both sides of the coin, because I know not everybody on here is in here for in the money making business. A lot of this, it's a hobby, and you want to keep it a hobby, because I know that I've had some friends who've turned their hobby into businesses and they regret it because it was no longer fun. So I understand. So let's go back to our sublimation example again. I want to sell more sublimation tumblers. Okay. I want to sell more sublimation tumblers by the end of August. Okay. So now we've got this set timetable. So now what you'll do is you have to look back at what your previous sublimation tumbler sales are. So that way you have something to compare to. So in August, whether or not you can say, hey, I sold more tumblers this quarter, this month, this half of the year, whatever your standard for measuring is, than I did at this previous time. If you really keep track of things and you've been doing this for years, you can go back and see what maybe you're doing for last year or the past 6 months. So it's very good to have measurable things. I like to have measurable. I'm a spreadsheet person. That's just what I've done both personally and professionally for keeping up with things. Now there's a ton of apps you have that you can use, budgeting tools. I still use Excel because I like to create custom formulas for figuring out things. So that way, if my wife wants to sell something new or whatever it may be, she can just type in the cost and, whatever the markup would be. And, it'll automatically spit out the number for her without having to come to me. Not that I don't ever mind my wife coming to me, but a lot of times I may be working or I'm putting the kids to bed or something like that. Just something to make your life a bit more efficient or easier. Can't tell me it's not a lot better just to punch in numbers and get what you want out of it instead of having to sit down here and figure out, okay, I got to do this. I got to figure this out, so on and so forth. All right, so SMART goals. Just want to go over that again. SMART is an acronym for specific. What exactly are you going to do? Measurable. How will you know that you're succeeding? Achievable. How will you implement the goal? Relevant. R. Does the goal connect to the overall objective? And then T, which is timely. When will you achieve the goal by? So just try to keep these things in mind. That's the easiest thing. I would encourage you all to set a SMART goal, maybe just for this week. Find something small you can do for this week until you can get an idea. When I was a manager, my owner, he had us set what we call short-term, intermediate, and long-term goals. So it was like 3 months, 6 months, and then a year. Until you get the concept of the SMART goal, definitely just cut it down to maybe a week or even a day. Just however you want to break it down. Just keep it little by little until you can work your way up once you understand what you're doing to do bigger and better things. And once you start doing it, you realize it's everywhere around you. Like I said, your job may do it. Your business may do it. Physical therapists do it. There's always things that set, hey, like for example, for my physical therapy, I'm on a weekly timer. I do certain exercises in a week so that we can come back, see how the results are, and then we can go from there. All right, so let me take a short pause. I don't think I've seen any questions that's popped up here. Just a reminder, Ma's been doing a great job about it. If you have any questions, try to use the Q&A box, please. And then, or any other comments, like I said, you have, we'll go from here. So we still got some time here. Just want to take a moment. I don't know if anybody was taking notes to kind of get caught up. Just a reminder that this will also be available on YouTube. This is a part of the Power Hour series. And if you're just jumping in, we're talking about how to set realistic goals. Realistic goals will help to prevent burnout and being bummed out because things aren't happening. Will the spreadsheet be on her website? That depends. It really depends because the spreadsheet that I made, I custom made for her. So I might look at seeing like maybe an overall general spreadsheet for crafting. I don't know. I might have to look into that. but yes, you don't. I encourage you not. You don't necessarily have to spend money. I mean, if you're not tech savvy and you want to do something for a budget and you plan on using it, then by all means, go ahead. But if you don't want to spend money, if as long as you have a Gmail, you can just use Google Drive, use Google Sheets. It takes almost all the same formulas that Excel does, and you can do like a quick Google search. Maybe it's something you want to figure out, and you can just type it in, how to automatically add this or add that. And usually there are some helpful tutorials out there. There's YouTube as well. But why do you want to set goals? Setting goals will help you build good habits. It'll help you build good habits for your personal life. It'll help you build good habits for your business as well. Because with goals, I know it's always weird to seem like you're always trying to achieve or hit a mark. Which, I mean, let's be honest, we all are trying to. But a lot of times where we fail at is setting a time limit on it and actually keeping track of it. I think about the health craze. People are starting to become more aware of their health. And you started seeing water bottles that, you guys have probably seen them. The water bottles with the time on them, say, hey, keep going, this or that. That's part of setting the goals. If you say, I want to drink more water, but you're terrible at keeping up, or you never measure how much water you drink, then how do you know that you're achieving that? You buy that bottle, and that way you don't have to guess. It's a 30-ounce bottle or whatever it may be. You filled it up twice. Okay, that's 60. That's how you're keeping track of that. And then after a while, you won't have to keep track of how much water you're drinking because you've built up that habit to do it on the regular. And then you probably won't need to keep track of it unless you want to increase your intake or do something else. Now let's transfer that over until the hobby and the creative side aspect of it. Same deal. You may say, okay, I want to start doing, 3 crafts a week. And so, you keep track. Okay, I did this. This counted as a craft. I did this. This counted as a craft. I did this. This counted as a craft. And then, okay, maybe the next week or the week after, whenever you hit your time frame, you say, okay, let's do 5. And then you're going to try to do 5. And let me tell you something right now. It is okay. It is okay if you don't hit a goal or you fail a goal the first time. It is absolutely okay. Unfortunately, my injury progressed. So I had to stop going to the gym, but I enjoyed weightlifting. For those who haven't done weightlifting, or if you've ever done any type of other classes or anything where you have to measure, there's going to be a time where, man, every time you go to the gym or wherever it may be, you're hitting new highs all the time. You may be live streaming on TikTok. Okay, hey, I hit 200 views on this video. Okay, man, I hit 300 on this live, 400, 500. And then there might be a week where, you may plateau at 500 or 600 and it's just like, man, what's going on? It happens that way sometimes. You just got to keep working hard at it. When you plateau, just try to do a little bit more or maybe back up some until you can find the same. So let's say, you want to do 3 tumblers in a week. Man, you knock out 3 tumblers. All right, well, I want to do 5 next week. Well, you didn't make 5 that week. That's okay. So you can either figure out, okay, where did I go wrong? Did I not spend enough time crafting? Did I have certain events come up? Or maybe I just need to scale it back. So maybe that next week, instead of saying 5, let's try to do 4 or even go back to 3 and see if you can maintain doing 3 for a couple of weeks first. And then say, okay, let's go up to 5. That's a trick from weight training as well, too. When you plateau, you drop back down on weight, maybe stay there for a couple of gym sessions, and then try to ramp back up again to that weight that you failed at. So, but please don't understand, failure is a part of business. All right. There's a saying, it's terrible. So I don't recommend this advice at all. But it's talking about, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So I like to believe that if you're not failing, then that means that you're not getting effort to set high enough goals. Okay. If you don't fall on your face sometimes, that means that you are being complacent all the time. And being complacent all the time is not necessarily a good place to be in either, because guess what? You will plateau there too. It'll start just becoming, you just start going through the motions, and that's when you'll start losing your passion, losing your drive, and then you're wondering what's going on. It'll affect your crafts. It'll affect your personal life. It'll affect a ton of stuff. And we'll talk about that later on this week about, not being burned out. And then when to know to take a break. I'll go more into detail with all that stuff as well too, because it's happened to me. It's happened to One Crafting Mama. It's happened to all of us, I'm sure, in one aspect of our life or another. So, yeah, get those goals set. That helps build great habits here. Let me check a few notes here. Guys, let me know if you do want like a general spreadsheet, maybe for figuring stuff out. I know my wife went over the markup formula with you, but maybe some of the other business stuff, just let me know. I said the one I made for her is tailor-made for her. But if it's something that y'all are interested in, I might be able to cook something up and then see if you'll be able to adjust it as needed from there. All right, so give me just a second here. Talked about SMART goals. I'm trying to get my bookmark to pull up. My Surface is having some issues here. Everybody coming in, thank you for coming in. We're talking about setting realistic goals. So you have realistic expectations about how you're doing things, and it's exciting when you hit those goals as well too. Oh, you know what? I know exactly where I can go. Here we go. All right, so I want to talk about, let's talk about a little bit more about failing goals. We got about 20 minutes or so here. All right, so let's talk about why you may have failed your goals. One of the first things that you may not want to hear is that it maybe wasn't as important to you as you thought it was. I know a lot of times it's called eating with your eyes. You're hungry, everything looks good, man, you want to grab everything, and then you eat maybe half the plate and be like, man, I'm done. I overdid it. And that could be the same way sometimes when you set your goals. You could be in the momentum, hey, your social media is booming, your website's booming, you're making money, you're just like, all right, let's go take on the world. And then you'll get started, and then it's just like, oh, I can't maintain this. And once again, that's okay. Being honest with yourself is the best thing that you can do, not only as a hobbyist, but as a business person as well too. Being honest with yourself is how you avoid being in the red for so long, a business term, which is losing money all the time until you bleed, and then you realize it's far too late. When you could have been honest before and said, okay, this isn't working, let me figure this out. Same deal with life. You may be trying to say, oh, I want to do this. I want to stream 5 hours a day or whatever it may be. And you're struggling with it, but your pride won't let you say, man, this is too much. I got to scale it back. I've put this out already. I need to go ahead and do this. It happens. It's human nature. All right. I'm not here to beat you down. We're just here to help each other. So I understand that what you may think you can do and what you actually do may be two different things. And like I said, you may find out that it's not as important as you thought it was. I may finally decide to start getting up at 5:30 in the morning and realize, you know what? This extra 30 minutes is not worth it to me. And that would be okay. But I don't want you to be failing at a goal and then continue with it just because you said it and then going to try to make it work. That's not the best way to go about doing that. Tweak it, but if you're struggling, don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's not working. That's called insanity. All right. So the second thing is, and we talked about it earlier, is you might not be specific enough with your goals. It is hilarious to me that I'm struggling with that word, because that is usually not a word I struggle with. Okay, so right now we're talking about why your goals may have failed. The first one was it may not be important to you as you thought. Okay, The second one is that it's not specific enough. All right. I'm going to try to find another word, but I don't think that I can. I like it. 3K. Great. Wow, guys. I really appreciate the support. Yes, and the replay will be available on YouTube. But your goal not being specific enough, we talked about the timetable and things like that. Sometimes you won't know you're achieving your goal because you have no timetable for when to achieve it. If you say, oh, I want to get out of debt, right? Pacific. I know Pacific is the word. I said it earlier, but I caught myself before then. But no timetable is the worst. You'll hear a lot of people say, I want to be out of debt. And that's what they'll say. I want to be out of debt. Okay. When is that? Because if you don't have a timetable, then you may not, start saving up. You may not take that extra money to start paying that debt down. There's a bunch of other things you can get away because there's no timetable set. Now, if you say, I want to be out of debt by the time that I'm 40, once again, that gives you that benchmark on the other end to say, okay, so I'll use me, for example. I'm 29 now. If I want to be out of debt when I'm 40, that's 11 years. 10 and a half, 11 years, give or take. That means I need to get moving. I need to start figuring out, how to take some extra stuff. And that's when you start doing research or maybe figuring out how to get help, things like that. And this is what start building that habit and to start taking care of those goals and having realistic expectations in mind. If you're $1 million in debt, 10 or 11 years, I don't know. I don't know if you're going to achieve that or not. If you know some way there is, fine. Hey, cool. But maybe you just want to have some of it down. So I'm just trying to give you guys the principles of this. And then you take it and use it how you need to apply it. Okay. One of the third things that I talk about is you don't have a support system. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody says, it's just me. I don't need anybody else. I can do it all on my own. Sure you can, but it's a heck of a lot easier. I am usually a very supportive and encouraging person, not only just for my wife, just in general. I want to see people succeed. I want to see people be happy. So yeah, I'm always for encouraging and supporting them. But sometimes, what about me? There may be times where I need encouragement. I may need somebody to support me. And sometimes you're not there for yourself. Sometimes you'll be in a funk or you're down. Sometimes you just need somebody there for you. And that's what a support system is for. So I would definitely take someone that you trust or someone that that'll be there for you, when you're trying to do these goals and say, man, I set this goal for myself, but I don't know if I can do it. For them to be like, well, are you trying some extras or provide suggestions like, hey, have you tried this? I notice when I do this helps me be more efficient in this area. Or when I try this method, it cut down on my tumbler, my tumbler crafting work time by an hour, so on and so forth. Or changing, hey, this epoxy here works really well. And it cures, in 30 minutes instead of an hour and a half, or 4 hours or whatever, a week or whatever it may be. But those are those type of things. And, once you start finding out new information or you hear other people doing the same thing that you're doing, it's uplifting. I know it is for me. I know it is for you guys, but it's definitely uplifting to know that you're not the only one who's going through the same issue. And not only that you're not the only one that's going through it, but there are people who are there who's willing to help you, to encourage you, to push you on, even the non-crafting friends. Like I said, I'm a hobbyist myself too. But it was a mess when I tried to help my wife do an epoxy tumbler. And I realized, okay, epoxy right now is not my lane to be in. But I always encourage my wife, if we're going back and forth, like, hey, if you think that epoxy is going to work, get it. If you want to try it, get it. Let's figure out if it works. That way we can share it with the community and along the others. I'm going to tell you right now, she absolutely loves finding out new stuff and telling you guys about it as well, too. It brings her great joy to know that she may help to get those messages saying, hey, I tried this out from your stream, or the message you sent me like this has definitely helped me out. We love to see things like that. But to go back to what I was saying, so yeah, support system. So we're talking about three reasons, 3 common reasons. Let me say 3 common. So 3 common reasons why you may have failed your goal was, one, that it's not important enough to you. And like I said, sometimes you won't find that out until you're in trying to do it. And that's okay. 2 is it's not specific enough. If you don't give yourself a timetable, then you might find yourself overwhelmed, or too short. You may find yourself overwhelmed. You may find yourself not making any progress because you haven't given yourself any time measured to figure out if you're making progress or not. So you may just quit because you have no clue if you're making progress or not. And then 3 is not having a support team. Even if it's just a support spouse, support person, whatever it may be, even if it's just one other person that you can link up with, man, stay in touch, get connected with that person. Or One Crafted Mama just opened up a Discord. So if you may have issues, just put a message in there if you're stumped or something like that. And who knows, the Discord community may grow. She's got 20K followers here. If all 20K of those followers are in the Discord as well too, there'll be plenty of people there to maybe find you encouraged, or you may find a crafting buddy. In the military, we call them battle buddies, but you may find a crafting buddy that you can have accountable or to be a part of your support system. So definitely reach out to people, man. It's not bad at all. Okay. Another important thing to do when it gets fun over in the Discord. Another important thing to do, and it's free. If you don't have Discord, it's a free app. You can be on Windows, Mac, your phone, tablet, whatever it may be. You can get it anywhere, and it's absolutely free. Another important thing to do when we're talking about setting goals and expectations is you have to take time to reflect on what you're doing. You need to be able to take a step back and evaluate, okay, is what I'm doing working? Or, am I spending, where is my time and energy going? I know for me, unfortunately, and it's something that I wish that I could really turn off sometimes, I like to be a perfectionist. And I run into problems with that sometimes because if I'm in a deadline, it's more important about making sure that the task is complete more so than being perfected. It does me no good to perfect it if I'm coming empty-handed. It does no good if someone's commissioned you for some art or a tumbler or a bracelet or whatever it may be. And then you say, okay, in about a week or two here, I'll have something. And after 2 weeks, you don't have anything because, you want it to be oh so perfect. I'm sure that person will be more so upset that if after delivery time that you gave them, there's nothing to show, as opposed to, you might send them a picture in progress or say, hey, this is working. How is this going on? Hey, Mom. If this is working. So definitely take time to step back. I usually like to, once again, use those SMART goals. So you have items to look at, the measurables. Did I do this, do that, or not? And maybe take about an hour. I usually take about an hour to an hour and a half, usually on a Saturday or Sunday, to reevaluate the goals that I set for myself for the week and try to see if I hit those goals or not. And if I'm not hitting those goals, why? Is it because I'm, spending too much time on social media? Is it because I'm just, I'm spending more time doing other things? I'm not going to say spend too much time with my family, but I do know there are some folks where, all their time is wrapped up in either work or family. They hardly have any time for themselves. So these, just take a moment to reflect. You can do it daily. So my big overall goal, I do it like an hour and a half each week. Every day, though, I do like to review my day. It's part of, I'm not going to say a trick, but a tactic that I learned while I was in basic training to help me fall asleep in like 15 or 20 minutes. I'm not going to try to do it here. I'll explain it to you, but I'm not going to try to, just in case, it works for you guys. But the things that was found out that we mostly fret about as humans is what we didn't accomplish for the day, what we accomplished for the day, and everything that we need to do the next day. So what we were taught in our training was think about 3 things that you did accomplish for the day. Think about 3 things that you do want to accomplish for the next day. And then just take a moment to think about how you felt about being able to accomplish those tasks for the day. Okay. So we always got to find those little victories in there somewhere. It's always baby steps, same deal with how doctors or nutritionists or anything are helping somebody with losing weight or getting healthy. About a year or so ago, when I went to the VA, I found out that I was in pre-diabetic stage. I did not want to be on medication. I did not want to be a diabetic. So I asked questions, how can I go about avoiding this? They told me, cutting out sugar, simple sugars like sodas and full-size candy bars, things like that, and then go from there. I didn't from day one be like, okay, that's it, and cut all the sugar out. I switched from drinking 20-ounce bottles to maybe just getting a 12-ounce can. I started having candy that was individually wrapped, the mini candies, instead of, full-size candies or big, gigantic bags, open bags with like the gummy worms or things that you get from the gas station or stuff like that, because if it's an open bag, oh man, these are going to go bad soon. I want to eat these up, or, they may be stale or not taste as good. Let me go ahead and eat these all up now. And, I would be blowing portion control out of the water. So by getting the bags with the individual wrap, sure, they cost more, but I was able to discipline myself. And then it got easier after a while. After a while, I didn't have to get a soda every time I went out and went to a restaurant or went out to fast food. I could get unsweet tea. I could get lemon water. It just became easier and easier. And then a few months ago, when I had my yearly checkup again, I wound up being out of pre-diabetic stage. Now I'm back down to normal levels. So, and that's what I said. But had I not set that goal and understood that it wasn't going to happen overnight, I probably would have been bummed out. One, by just completely cutting out sugar, because I have a sweet tooth. I love sweet tooth. I love sweets. I just have to manage, when and how much of them I'm eating. So I was able to not give up, what I love doing, just scaled it back down. I set goals for myself. And in the year, I was able to achieve my goals. So that way I didn't have to get on any type of insulin or anything like that, any insulin shot or anything like that. So that's what I said. So I just want to recap here. Within the last 5 years, he stays in the cookie aisle at Walmart. God dang it, woman. Leave me alone. I still get everything else. Yes, I can't be sent for shopping trips, y'all. I will get all the items that were on the shopping list, and then I will usually get something for myself. I'll call it dad tax. Like, okay, I had to go. Well, I'll call it dad tax if I'm getting something for the kids. I would take something. I'll call it hubby tax if I'm, doing a honey-do list or something like that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get me a Snapple or get me a candy bar or something like that, or cookies, for being out here. So I just want to take these last 10, 15 minutes or so. Just kind of want to go back over. So we talked about SMART goals, setting SMART goals, which was an acronym. I believe it's in the comments. Once again, it'll be on YouTube though. The S is for specific. You got to set specific goals. M is for measurables. Have something in order to be able to make it tangible to see if you're making progress or not. You got A for attainable or achievable. Achievable. How are you going to go about achieving said goals? We got R is relevant. Like I said, how is this in the overall grand screen? How is this going to fit in with what else the big picture that you're trying to go for? And then T is timely. Always set a realistic time goal for whatever you're trying to achieve. And much like handling budget and finances, which we will talk again about next week as well too, it's not going to be right away. You may I would say if you've never set a budget before, those first couple months, you're going to quote unquote blow your budget out the water, just because if you don't have a budget, chances are you're probably not keeping track of your spending. So you don't know what to budget. So you just kind of take your averages of what you have been and then set it there. And then that first few months or so, you're going to be playing around with that. No, a curse word, a crafter's curse word. Yes, budgeting. Budgeting. Will get you taken care of, though. It's one of those ouch words, ouch subjects. But it is definitely needed, though. It is definitely needed. So we talked about SMART goals. Your guys' I guess homework or recommendation is create a SMART goal for the week. If you want, Google SMART goals. I'm sure there's probably tons of here. Let me do it here. SMART goals. Yeah, see, I just Googled SMART goals examples, and there's tons of them in there. So if you kind of didn't understand, or if you're one of those who just need it written in front of you, just Google search, SMART goal templates. Ugh. I need to trim. I need to trim the stash. I promise I still belong. I still belong to somebody. So set a SMART goal for yourself this week. If you are familiar with SMART goals, or you feel that you're really good at goal setting, then maybe set something for the quarter, set something for the year. Challenge yourself. Don't make sure that it's unattainable, but make it that you probably have to push or stretch yourself a little bit in order to get there. All right. Then we talked about the 3 common reasons to why you may fail your goals. That was one, that it may not be as important as you thought it was. I guess you may not have valued it enough. And sometimes you won't find that out until you're working on it, that it's maybe not in your heart to do that. Now, make sure it's not in your heart just because, you're wanting to be lazy or get out of it. But it's maybe you put the effort in and you're not getting anything out of it. 2 is that it's not specific enough. Yeah, specific. And once again, we're talking about you may be too broad. That was the example that I gave about, I want to be out of debt. Well, if you haven't given yourself a timetable, it may seem like you're never making progress. Or if you make it too short, then you may overwhelm yourself and cause yourself to be bummed out, or maybe even depressed because you didn't hit your certain goal. So make sure that when you're setting your specific goals, that they're realistic. That's the important thing. Keep it realistic. The third reason that I provided as to why you may fail the common reason why you may fail your goal is you don't have a support system. Like I said, everybody likes to think that they're tough, and you may even be a tough cat or a tough cookie, but we all need support at some point in time or another. And support will help you when you are down or you're struggling to reach those goals, to kind of give you that push, to just to keep going, just to get it in there. All right, then the other thing that we talked about is reflecting and taking stock. As I said, I do a big reflection in the overall picture of things, usually once a week, into my week, and evaluate if what I was doing based off my SMART goals, if what I've done during the week, I was able to achieve my goals or making progress towards my goals. And then if not, what am I doing that is hindering that or stopping that, or what could I be doing different in order to get on there? Like I said, I also recommend maybe daily as well too. It's an example that I have given about, maybe taking 15, 20 minutes or so at the end of your day. Just think about 3 things that you accomplished, 3 things that you want to accomplish in the next day, and then how you felt about the things that you accomplished. Usually if you can just take a quick mental stock of the day, usually that kind of helps to, I guess, relax or ease the mind. So maybe you can be ready to hit tomorrow, either with the same intensity that you had it for the day, or maybe with more intensity than you may have had the previous day. So, all right, I do see that there are still some people who are joining. Do not fret. It is the end towards the end of towards the end of the power hour, but it will be on YouTube. Do know that TikTok has been having issues with the live notifications. The great Crafting Sisters have shared the live video, so hopefully that's where a lot of you guys have been coming in if you have missed the TikTok notifications. So big ups to you guys on that for helping to get the rest of your Crafting Sisters and brothers squared away to get them back in. It will also be uploaded to the YouTube channel as well. So for those of you who are on TikTok now, if you go to One Crafted Mama's profile, all the social media links will be right there on her page. Also would encourage you to join the new Discord as well that she has set up, where you can meet all the other Crafting Sisters and brothers and you have general discussions and share things that you might be working on. Things like that, because TikTok is great, but you don't get a chance to really interact with everybody else. But at least you get to maybe talk with other people as well. So definitely do that. We need you, One Crafting Mama and Mama, to make a crafting portfolio. No, it is all good. So I'll give it a couple more minutes here. But that's pretty much it. Does anybody have any specific questions? Use that Q&A before I hop off. I want to give people an opportunity if they wanted to ask a question or drop a quick comment. For those of you who missed the broadcast earlier, One Crafted Mama, she is doing a lot better. But she's using wisdom and resting right now until she can see a doctor to figure out what's going on and go from there. So I will also be handling the rest of the power hours for Thursday and Friday for the same time from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So tomorrow is no One Crafted Mama. She's in the chat. What was tomorrow again? No, her appointment is Friday. All right, so she got her appointment booked for Friday. And once again, we'll play around next week as well, too. We may tag team it. I said if she's ready and good to go, you'll see her. But we'll work on notes together. Put a cap on it. Okay, yes. Work in your specific niche. I remember now. See, we talk about this a lot of times. Sometimes I just need my memory kick-started. That's all. Yeah, so we're talking about how once you find the niche, how to stay in it, not necessarily corner it, but how to necessarily make sure you get your piece of the pie. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. And then Friday will be, I be forgetting. I don't be forgetting. I just have a delayed remembrance. That's all that is. So, and then Friday will be knowing when to take a break, when to step away and take a break. All right. So that is it for this power hour. If you guys have just come in and you may have missed it, don't worry. It will be uploaded on the YouTube. And I will see you all at the same time tomorrow. Bye.